So today we're going to be going over how to install an AR15 trigger the way you'll probably do it, not the way you actually should do it. But we'll get there. So first step in doing anything with a rifle, be sure to lock and clear. There's no rounds in the mag, there's no rounds in the chamber. And we're going to go ahead and just get what we need for this setup. So we're going to take the upper off, as well as the buttstock. So that way we have what we need to work with. So today we're going to be swapping out the ALG ACT trigger I've had in here for a number of years. But in the last class we had, I realized I was starting to get some light primer strikes from a weak hammer spring, and I took that as the excuse to actually pony up and get a real Geisley trigger, and that's what we're gonna be installing today. We won't be having all of the necessary parts. We're gonna be, just pretend I'm in your kitchen. By the way, it's very nice, thank you. So on my lower, we have some anti-walk pins because I had some walking issues originally, but we will install the trigger pins and hammer pins that come with the Geisley trigger. So just give me a second. We will remove these. All right, so now that we have the heads of the old anti-walk pins out, we're gonna go ahead and punch out these two pins. And so you wanna go ahead and bring your hammer up. And since I don't have real punches, I'm going to be using an Allen key. So we're gonna start off first with the hammer spring, and I don't put all my tools back where they belong, so we're using that today as a hammer. So that old one comes out, and then the bottom pin as well. Gotta make sure I get the correct Allen key. You want one that's just slightly smaller than the pins you're trying to punch out. Old one there. And everything should just fall out nice and free, unless you get it stuck behind the safety. So there's our old trigger and our old trigger disconnect. That trigger, the ALG ACT trigger, was a fantastic trigger. If you're on a budget and that's what you can afford, I would highly, highly suggest that one. That one worked out great for me for many years, but I can finally afford a real Geisley, and so that's what we're gonna go with. So when you get your Geisley triggers, the pins are gonna be already installed. So you need to take the pins out, and then you have this handy little slave pin that goes in to hold your disconnector while you put it into the trigger. I learned that the hard way the first time, so we're gonna go ahead and install the trigger, maybe. So then what you're gonna do is you're gonna hold it to where you can see the old slave pin and attempt just to push it through. And then, boom, now your trigger and disconnector is installed. Geisley says to lube some of the points here, which we've already done off camera. And then, so then now what we have to do is install the hammer spring. So once again, punch out the pin somehow. See, I guess I did have the right tool at one point. All right, so when installing the hammer spring, so be sure to have the spring face the backside. So the hammer will be sitting right here, so this will be facing towards the barrel. So then you want the spring to come and push tension. And so then what's gonna happen is that when we install it, the trigger pin that's there, what you're gonna do is push this over the trigger pin. So there's gonna be a lot of tension, but that's where you're gonna get the power that's needed to drop the hammer and fire your rounds. So what you're gonna do is push it in and get it lined up. And Kurt, if you could assist me here. It's always nice to have a helping hand, you know, get your spouse involved in your hobbies. So take this pin, drop it in, and then, ooh, easy now. The hammer's there. And if you need to, all you're gonna have to do is basically just wiggle the hammer into position to where then you can push the pin the rest of the way in. And just like that. All right, so now the selector lever is on fire. Pull the hammer back, make sure it's on safe, test for function, put it on fire, it releases, and so boom, just like that, you've installed your new AR15 trigger. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys want more videos like this, be sure to let us know, and go check out our website at bluealphabelts.com.